Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Rambling Toffee podcast. I hope everybody's doing well today. Um, and it's been a couple of weeks since my last podcast. Just that was just due to the fact that I'm battling illness as per usual. January is a wonderful month for me, not just with my dizzy spells and everything else, and colds and coughs and all the sorts of crap that's been going on for the last. So, yeah, the last podcast I did was obviously after the Bournemouth game, and we all know what happened after the Bournemouth game. Obviously, Sean Dyche left his role at Everton Football Club. We knew it was going to happen. It was just when it was going to happen. Um, and for me, obviously David Moyes came in to took over quite quickly, within a week of Sean Dyche being sacked on I think it was the Wednesday before obviously the FA Cup game against Peterborough, and then obviously within a couple of days or so, David Moyes had come in back into the role, back as manager of Everton Football Club, and so it was a bit of a whirlwind week. I think a lot of fans, including myself, I've always said about Sean Dyche, he did well for 18 months and with the squad that he had, and to keep us in the Premier League, and obviously the points deduction, everything last season, and all the noises he liked to have called it, was going on. So in one sense, okay, appreciate what he did do, but this season we've had some players that have come in, obviously Ndiaye and Lindstrom have come in. We've had players come into Irabunum as well, and we've not pushed on. If you take out the points deduction last season, we would have been above Brighton on 48 points. We would have been in a strong mid-table team, and you would think players coming in that we did bring in, you would think there might have been a bit more of a push on to take us, make us mid-table still, yes, and move on. While we went through obviously the takeover, and we all knew that Sean Dyche's role probably would have ended in the summer, but the way this season's gone and the way we played and the tactics and the formation and just sticking with same old, we knew the writing was on the wall. My view has always been that I just felt that it was time he should have gone a while ago, personally, and we should have got the manager, a right manager in earlier on, last year, roughly around October, November time, when you know it was needed that we needed to bring in a new manager then, and we needed to freshen up because you could just see the writing on the wall. You could just see what was going to happen with the team and the way we were playing, and you can see the decisions that he was making, the formation, the tactics were always the same, the substitutions were always the same. It was never proactive. It was always reactive. It was never. And then in his interviews and everything afterwards, he was very. We were, as a fan, I was puzzled with what he was talking about. He seemed to what he was watching, thinking that we were playing well on some occasions, and you know, coming up with excuses for the reason why the performance was like that. And people, media as well, and everybody asking, we're not scoring goals. It's all well and good getting points from drawing, setting up defensively, but we needed that change, and we needed, you know, to do. It has to be a balance. Yes, be good, stick, be the principle of being defensive. Yes, is to we got a strength there. That's what needs to be worked on. But we were conceding goals, and you know, the whole purpose of football is to win football matches. And it seems to be he got to a level, he got to a stage and a point, and just thought I can't do anything further with this team. And he did it. The weirdest thing is that he talked to a former Nottingham Forest player from 30, 40 years ago about you know the strikers and about attacking, and was asked about why haven't we got like a attacking coach? Why haven't we got somebody like that to help the strikers to work in this system of playing, so they know what they're doing and they can actually play in that system. But no, he just thought that, speaking to a former player for Forest from 40 something years ago, Gary Birtles, that's his name. You know, his advice, he said, "Oh, you don't need an attacking coach. You don't need a set piece coach. You don't need." In reality, we do. And last season, our set pieces were fantastic, and we were one of the top teams last season. for that. Why that just went off the, off the went why we were so poor at them this season, I will never know. But it seems to be the players were shackled to an extent. They couldn't, especially the attacking players that we had, we couldn't, move forward. We couldn't create. And it was like our possession was always low and shots on target were minimal, one here or one there or zeros. And it was like continuing. We can see it as fans. Media started to spot it. Local media were, but national media still believed in Sean Dyche and what he was doing was a right job and great job that he's doing. Yes, we can talk at last season. This is this season. We've gone downwards and downwards and downwards. There's no PSR points deductions. We're not having anything like that this season. The club is now under new owners, and they want a winning team. When they took over their you know in the statement that they put to the fans is that we want a winning team. And when he spoke to Sean Dyche and the play, specific Sean Dyche, is that we want a winning team. We want to win football matches because that is what it's all about. And I don't know what's happened with him or why if he felt the need that he stick with what he thought was working last season and it was working for a time and thinking just keep sticking with it and we'll be fine. We'll get through this. But whatever you can just see the ending is because he started to panic with the substitutions. He was making decisions earlier on. We're thinking, oh God, he's making a substitution. He's playing 4-4-2. He put Michael Keane up front on a couple of occasions when you had Beto on the bench. You had a 4-4-2 in a game where basically Calvert-Lewin was on and Beto, and then Michael Keane came on, played up front with Calvert-Lewin, and then this what took Calvert-Lewin on and put Beto on instead. Why couldn't you go with Calvert-Lewin and Beto? It's things like that. It's just I'm just glad it's over with. He's done his job. That was last season. He's done what he needed to do, but it needed to happen earlier on. That's just my personal view. It's happened now. We've got new owners who want winning mentality, they want a winning team, and they're going to come in and they're going to put money into the club, like they are doing. They want to put money in getting players and transfers and bringing players in, which predominantly will happen in the summer, and we'll have to wait for that because at the moment as much as we are compliant with PSR, we haven't got much leg wiggle room to actually spend on lots of players and trying to strengthen the team, which it definitely needs. Because I've said in the past, we need a attacker, we need a right winger with pace, we need a left back to challenge Mikalenko, we need a centre forward even because obviously Calvert-Lewin doesn't look like he's going to sign any new contract. It looks like he's going to run out his current contract to the end of the season and he'll be gone on a free. So we do need strikers. Beto, maybe he might go this month, we may not. It looks like he's not happy at the club as well. So there's that happening. We've already got Chimiti and of course Brozier, who got injured in the FA Cup game. It's looking like, well, I don't know, they're negotiating to send him back to Chelsea. So there could be a loan option on that. But they're just talking about that at the moment. See if he will go back because it looks like he won't be playing for Everton this season now anyway. I think he's out for 3 months. So I can't see even if he just near the end of the season it'd be too late to be honest with you. So there's a lot of things that we can get players in, but they have to do that. Wriggle room is very very tight, and we have to see if we can get those kind of players in just to strengthen, to freshen up the team. And of course, we've had the Peterborough game, the FA Cup, 2-0. It was great to see Bainesy and Seamus Coleman, um, taking the team for that game, and it was wonderful to see a great man of the match performance by Harrison Armstrong. I thought it was fantastic. One for the future, yes, but is he one for now? Will he be given an opportunity under David Moyes? So obviously we're in this position. David Moyes has come in. My view, was it underwhelming? A little bit underwhelming in my sense because my expectation, um, probably like a lot of fans, is that wanted a new up and coming coach or a manager who's experienced, a European manager like a Fonseca, or you've got managers out there who you've seen they've done really really good jobs for at clubs, and I was hoping somebody like that, um, or Thomas Frank at Brentford, who's done wonders at Brentford, obviously. I was hoping somebody like that maybe, but I would guess that Fonseca, from what I was hearing, was waiting to the summer. Thomas Frank obviously will have to wait to the summer, so we needed somebody now, and David Moyes was available. He knows, I'm going to say, knows the club. He knows the fans. He knows Everton. He was here for 11 years, and we had some good. I don't want to use good times because that's a Bill Kenwright thing. We had good teams under Moyes, under a very shoestring budget, and all the crap that was still going on off the field. He was able to create good teams, and give us exciting times when we go into the games when in his first stint. But I was a bit underwhelmed by it because I thought, well, he's in the past. We need to go to the future. We've got new owners. We need, to see the summer where new players come in. We start building a new Everton Football Club on the field, new identity, new ways, a way to play that we'll get excited and get behind. So I can understand the thinking why to bring David Moyes in. And okay, it's under 2.5 years. He will be here to stabilise and get us in a stronger position, hopefully, with working with, obviously, I'm going to guess right now, a new director of football. I can't see Kevin Fellwell staying. I think he's just here for transitional to just help the Freaking group with the recruitment and part of that at the moment in time and the players that they're looking at. And David Moyes will probably put his penny in who we will have as players. So for me, it's a right appointment at this moment in time. It's a safe pair of hands. Good old phrases here to come in. And I just think he, he knows the fans. Goodison knows some of the staff. Obviously, we saw with the appointment of Leighton, with Bainsey being one of his assistants, and over the period of time that he's been away from the club, he's done well at West Ham. Other clubs obviously not been successful at, and he's been sacked by clubs. Doesn't really matter. All managers get sacked at different clubs at different times. I'm not using an excuse, but what I'm saying, but he's a couple of times that he's been at West Ham, he's done really, really well with them. Gotten him in, finishing in good positions. Fifth, sixth, and seventh, and getting into the Conference League, and building a good team to do well there. Obviously, they're struggling this season. They've got a new manager, obviously, Harry Potter, no, Graham Potter, and that what happened with that. But this is what we're at. That's my personal view. I think 2.5 years down the line, or whatever, what happens if he does well and reignites the team and we get a good squad and we start to compete again and be more competitive further up the table, getting into Europe. And if he can do that and he can hit the ground running and take us in that direction, that'd be absolutely amazing. And then when it comes to that point, the owners can make that decision if they want to keep him on, or they can make the change. Great. The thing about the owners, they can make the change anytime they want to. So it's down to them. But if you can stabilize things on the field, get the right mixture of players and recruit in the summer predominantly, and obviously if we're still in the Premier League, we need to be in there and we can move into this new stadium in the Premier League, but also a team that we can get a little bit excited about, and whoever them players may be that they will bring in the summer. Obviously, a lot of players are out of contract. It's going to be a very, very interesting summer, and it's going to be right from the get go. And is it going to be under the current director of football who's going to help David Moyes? David Moyes obviously wants to find out about players that they're looking at. He may have players that he has in his own mind that he wants to but we need to get 2 or 3 players, as I mentioned, to freshen up the squad, strengthen it a bit more, and to push forward. And as this podcast is all about, I want to talk about the football, and I will do in a moment. I'll talk about the Villa game, obviously, but the Tottenham game is the main takeaway where I'm really really excited that hopefully going to see more of what we saw against Tottenham in the next upcoming games. Brighton's going to be a tough one, but yeah, obviously David Moyes come in. We're waiting for players. And hopefully we'll find any new players will come in. Hopefully by the 3rd of February. We've got James Garner, as Dicey used to say, back on the grass. Hopefully he's going to do an under-21s game. Got Chimiti, hopefully be back soon. Here at Boonham. So we got some players will start to come back as well. James Coleman's available as well soon as well. So we'll have some strength and depth there, which will be good. But I just think we just need some pace in that midfield and to really to help us go forward, and also looking at a striker maybe would be a good thing, and also as I mentioned a left back. So yes, so Dave Moyes come in, instantly everybody was calm as fans, as much as we felt, so like myself, as I felt underwhelmed by that appointment. But listening to him in the press conference and listening to about the club and about everything about Everton, he just felt right, and it just feels right. And I know there's one or two out there that probably think he still shouldn't be manager now, but that's just how I feel. What the future will be, we'll just have to wait and see. As I mentioned about my views and who I would like to see as the new manager at the club, that's going to be further down the line. So we just have to wait and see what happens. We just have to deal with this, and we just have to get behind it. And I'm going to get behind it. And what we saw, I think the Villa game was the first example. As much as he played kind of the same, Sean Dyche kind of set up, um, we started to see what he'd been doing in the couple of sessions that David Moyes has been there with Leighton Baines and Billy McKinley, and that's to pass the ball more, press a bit more. That's why we need pace in that midfield, so we can press further and get back into positions when we're defending. But you can see it, and we were creating opportunities. And Dominic Calvert-Lewin had obviously that one right at the end, which really we could have started with a point against Aston Villa, who we all know are playing really, really well at the moment and doing really well. Got a great team, and it was all right. It was not the greatest, It was a defeat, and it was not, you know, it was still giving the ball away. We were still making lots of errors, and we were still doing lots of that. But we started to see something that you thought, right, let's start doing this. Let's start playing this way, and utilising Mikalenko, and I think it was Harrison until Lindstrom came on later on, but to utilise it as more as wing backs, and we started to see that, but it was more in a 4-4-2 scenario. They started to push further up, and yes, it was a defeat, but we created opportunities. We find it wasn't, we were as fans watching it, we're getting further forward. We were getting into positions, we're getting balls in the box. If Calvert-Lewin had got one of those goals in, that last one right at the end, we would have all been happy about taking a point against Villa. And it could have been even better if, we could have even, the issue with the penalty decisions, which we should have had, where Lindstrom had been pushed and Calvert-Lewin been dragged down. It's like, there you are, and it's typical refereeing decisions as well. Doesn't help matters. So it could have been a different scenario. We wouldn't have been, after the game, still feeling very, very, worried about, how are we going to get a result against Tottenham? Now, coming to Tottenham obviously got injuries. They are not playing well. They're not playing well at the moment. Their manager is under pressure at the moment. They're above us. They were above us by 7 points. Obviously, we went into the game on Sunday, but we've got injuries, and we've also been out of form. And so it was against two teams that, you know, out of form and trying to, pick up points, trying to get results, trying to get some confidence, and they've always decided to make a bold decision of bringing, obviously, Lindstrom coming back in, but a bold decision of bringing Jake O'Brien in and playing. I thought was going to be like a free centre backs, and Lindstrom and Mikalenko playing like your wing backs. That's where I was thinking it was going to be. Obviously, the rest of the team was the same as, but no, it was still 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1, whatever. Um, and it was like, wow, he's 6'7", and he surprised me of how well he played in that position. Down on the wing, he just like he was bombing down, up and down. No wonder he got substituted and got tired because he just back into. But his passing, that's his strength. His passing and movement, football, passing is his big strength. Like Jared Brockway got, that's a big strength for his. And somebody who's not played at all or came occasional appearances here and there, coming on as substitute. David Moyes makes the bold decision. Well, you can pass the ball. Let's try him down there. Let's see what happens. But also, what it helped is that in any corners that Tottenham played or whatever they had, we had an extra very tall lad in the defensive side. So that was a good thing. And Lindstrom, and again, new manager bounce scenario here. But if you've got a manager that is, we need to win football matches because of where we are. We need to be moving up the table. We don't want to be anywhere near relegation. We don't want anything to do with that. He's talked to the attackers, and he's talked to Lindstrom, and he's talked to Calvert-Lewin, and instantly he's given, the shackles have been pulled off him, and Ndai as well, and Ndai, sorry, I keep saying Ndai. The shackles have come off the creative play, because you look at Ndai, and he's out of the team the most creative you can probably when he's got the ball. Out of the team we don't have anybody else. Lindstrom is when he's further up, and what he did when he was at Frankfurt. Forget about Napoli, but at Frankfurt he was allowed to be like a number 10, but he was allowed to do what he's good at, and he's been allowed to do that. And what we saw was instantly from the get go, he was battling and tackling, but you can see it was like the confidence has been given to him, and they got a manager that believes in him that he can do a job, and that's what we saw. And that first half, I mean, I was standing there saying, "Oh God, we actually scored a goal." That first one by Dominic Calvert-Lewin, nice flick to Garner, who, you know, rolled back the years again and played really, really well. I thought um, against in against Spurs, and that first assist to Calvert-Lewin, in and out, in a goal, fantastic. And it was, and that's will give him such a boost. I just wish that not long after he had a 1-on-1 and he made a bit of a hash of that. But other than that, it was the best performance I've seen Dominic Calvert-Lewin for a while. I think the last one was probably Liverpool last season, and he was everywhere. He was getting flick-ons, he was going in the corners, he was doing everything, and that's what we needed. But one of the things that we were seeing is that because of the passing, instead of launching it to him, we we defended well when we had it. I'm not referring to that last 10 minutes. I'll talk to that in a minute, but for that 78 minutes roughly before, we pressed and pressed and pressed. And what it meant was it's also Dominic had people, had friends. He had people around him. He had support, and he didn't have to always. We still do the flick on. Still did a couple of times when Jordan Pickford did do that, but Jordan Pickford didn't do that as much. All it was about was pass it to your defence, pass it forward, your midfield, pass and pass and pass, and make an effect with it. And we saw that in that second goal. That second goal was just like simple passing, and Dye, boom. Two contenders, the Calvert-Lewin goal and Dye's goal, two contenders for goal of the month because of how good they were, and how, and you can just see the confidence oozing through it. And then the third one, obviously, Lindstrom gets a lot good cross right in, Tarkovsky own goal. Second half, we continued it for a period of time. I kind of thought Spurs would come at it because you have got some good players despite the injuries. They've got some good players, Son and Madison. You've got players that can still, hurt you. They're one of the top scorers in the league despite where they are. They're doing the opposite. We seem to be the other way around, where basically we're a bit better defensively, but attack minded we're not. So it's got this bit of a switch. But what we saw was something that was continuing on. A Dye was still causing players passing the ball around. One of the things is one player that they keep on being persistent with is Decore, and he played. I think the only thing he's good at is the press, and he's pressing the goalkeeper, making errors. That's the only thing that I saw on Sunday that he was good at. But when it came to getting the football and passing it, he was giving the ball away as per usual. And I just felt you had Harrison Armstrong on the bench. Why didn't you bring him on? Yes, you did it in the first half. We're 3 up. Make the change. Fresh legs. Give him the opportunity. Let's see what he can do in a game like that. When we're in that position, obviously I didn't know what the last 12 minutes would be, but that's just because mentality, or the mental side of Everton Football Club at the moment, is that we don't know how to win. And when we are winning a football match 3-0, we don't know how to close it out. And it doesn't matter what game management or management that, say, David Moyes does or whoever, it what was happening is players like Jacob Ryan, players started to tire. He made defensive decisions to try and be more solid at the back to actually get it through, but it didn't help. I wouldn't say that uh, Jordan Pickford wasn't very good in his first instance with the first goal when he came flying out and trying to get back into. He didn't get back in position in time, and it was a good goal. It was a good finish because he lifted it over our defenders. I think the second one, Richarlison was just left alone, and that was a Michael Keane error. Um, but we got through. We won. They're just nitpicking. Lot to work on still because we're not out of the woods yet as much as we've got a bit of a gap, and the teams below us are all losing all the time. But we are watching that game, and for that length of time, I think it was just wonderful to see. It was great to see the feeling of fans. We were right behind the team, and this is what it's all about. If the team are doing it on the field and creating opportunities, and playing like that, because we played really really well for that length of time, and I think playing like that, the fans will get behind that. We were excited, chanting, singing. Everybody was happy. It was wonderful to see, and that's what we missed. We haven't seen it for a long time. And then, and it's vice versa, isn't it? The players are giving the vibes off, getting the vibes off us, and that's what we want to continue on. Because when you're winning football matches like that, and as a team, and you're 3 up, the second half in your head is you thinking you can keep on going at them. And these what people will say, well, because Tottenham are being poor at the moment, but we've also been poor. So I'm not, it's going to be a tough game against Brighton because they're playing well and winning games, getting results, and it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game, and I can't, even after what that result, and even after the way that we plays, and giving me that feeling of excitement and feeling that, oh yes, we're gonna, you know, we're going to start winning football matches. That's not the case, and I think there's a lot of hard work to go on the training field, and he's got this week to do that now. With the team, with the coaching staff, getting players ready because it's going to be a difficult game against Brighton. We've got Leicester at home the week after. We've got and that's a good opportunity to get another 3 points because obviously they're below us, so we can push ourselves away. But let's be a little bit optimistic. Let's be a little bit happy. It's great. I don't want to do podcasts every time. I'm just moan every time. about one thing or another, there's still a lot of work to be done. And you know, David Moyes, as I mentioned, he's here now. He's here for a period of time. Let's get behind him. Let's see what he can do. If he can get the best out of these players, if we can get some fresh players in, uh, and we can grow and we can start picking up points until the end of the season, I'm happy with that. We move forward and we'll go into the summer and we'll see what happens as regard new players coming in, what this team's going to look like, because it's going to look completely different probably by the time we get to the start of the 2025-26 season and in the new stadium. So all good. Yeah, so yeah, let's be positive. Let's see where it takes us. That's all we can do, and I think a win always makes everybody feel positive. I'm on top. I was top of the moon. I was, top of the moon on Sunday. It was just lovely to see. It was wonderful to see us play well like that. And it doesn't matter if it's Tottenham or anybody. If you can put a performance in play like that, and if we can make that 95 minutes and continue to push and continue to keep going for it, then you know you know we'll be fine this season. I don't think we'll go down. I can't see it. I can't see it happening if we continue to play like that. But we're going to get inconsistencies. We're going to get bumps in the road. But I just hope we don't get too many of them, that we are battling right to the end. I just would rather be pulled away than be happy. Season over. We can start a brand new chapter in the summer. And will it be under a new director of football? That's for another conversation. I know Martin out there, if you're listening, I always appreciate your support and all your feedback regarding the podcast. But you're right. As I say about Bag Full of Toffees, for him, he's got great articles and stories out there. Wild. Some of the stuff that he writes is fantastic about Everton, and about all sorts of things, director of football and everything else. If you're on social media, Twitter or Blue Sky, look for Bag Full of Toffees. Follow him. Some of the articles he does is absolutely top notch, and I do appreciate his support. But yeah, but we'll see how we go. We've got Brighton on Saturday. We'll see what we can do with that one. You just never know. It's football. Hopefully, that confidence that we've got from this after this game will follow through into that game. But it'll be a tough one. But we can be a little bit more optimistic, maybe. So yes, let's play on, gamble on. Everything is wonderful and rosy in the garden. Not just on the field, PSR compliant. No interest payment that's been dropped. We have a bit of wiggle room to try and bring some players in. We're waiting for naming rights for the new stadium, the test events that are going to take place at the new stadium. So lots of positive stuff going on. Let's keep it going. If the positive off the field, let's have more positive on it, and let's just keep on going on and on and on. But yeah, thank you again for listening to this podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure to ramble on about everything that is Everton Football Club. But this week has been a good week, and let's hope it continues. So I don't know. I'm Mark. Thank you for listening. This is Rambling Toffee signing out. Take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.